Didn't see that coming up.
Winners Lounge on a Friday?
Yes,
Oh my God,
sir.
don't mind if I do.
Yes, sir.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Winners Lounge.
Let's
Presented by Bet365, never ordinary. Tonight, pretty not ordinary. The Nuggets get a 127-112 win over a really bad team. Second night in a row getting a really bad team. Kind of nice, actually. Kind of nice the way the schedule broke here. Back-to-back. If you have to do it back-to-back, you might as well do it right away against two crummy teams.
The perfect two teams to play after the All-Star break, I think.
You know what? I think you're onto
Seriously.
something. Collin Gillespie goes off. Michael Porter Jr. goes off.
Why are you looking at me?
Nikola Jokic goes off. I mean, guess that's kind of ordinary. We're going to break it all down. To help me out, Brendan Vogt. Did you run here today?
I did run here. It's such a riveting open to the pregame. I thought I'd run it back. No, man, another great night in the bar. I've had so many great times at the bar.
So true.
Lately. Obviously, that's typical. That's ordinary. But a particularly good stretch lately. Another great crowd tonight. Another great game. Nuggets doing their thing.
If you were like, you know, you want to go to the bar, you're like, is it going to be great or not? Nuggets playing the Blazers on a Friday night. That's going to be a good night at the bar.
Oh, yeah.
That's,
Send
like,
it.
that's a lock.
That's like a 10 out of 10 night.
That's a 10 out of 10
Yeah.
night. Over here, Harrison Wind.
I see Vogt's got one beer going, another on deck. I got to get on his level,
Also,
man.
the fly is wide open. Is it wide open right now? Can
He-
you
he's
zoom
having
in?
a
Can we get
great
a
night
close
at
up
the
over here?
DNVR Bar.
Can we get a close up? Can we get the
That's
one
not on
shot?
camera.
Adam and Vogt are on something else tonight. I'm going to
That
tell you
wasn't
that
on
right
camera.
now.
Vogt is having
I just
another
pointed
great
it
night
out.
at the DNVR
Trying to
Bar.
not embarrass him.
I feel like. All right.
Could have gotten really worse.
Yeah.
And then over there, Superstar Dev.
What a great night. This is a great night with the fellas. Also, the vibes are, they seem to be back. They seem to be back. Who knew it was just playing the Wizards
Yep.
in Portland? That's all we needed. The vibes are back.
This is the whole NBA, man. This is the whole NBA. It's just the play a good team and lose. Like, oh, we suck. Play a bad team and crush them. We're the best team ever. Everybody's good. 127-112. I'm really curious how this game will be remembered, if it will be remembered. You remember when we used to do that? We used to talk about how long will this game stay in your memory. This one might not last that long.
No, probably not.
I think this will last a little longer than some of the other very, very forgettable games. And there's one reason why. We'll probably get to it.
We probably will get to it. But like last game, that's the Yoke triple-double day. Like we'll remember triple-double day, I think, for a while just because of it's kind of gimmicky. This one, I don't know. All right. Fast breakdown. It's going to be really fast. My fast breakdowns have been getting shorter and shorter. MPJ, hot start. 3 threes.
Hey.
Next note, Collin night.
You had the two notes
You were
again,
on
man.
it tonight.
That was it. That's all you need, dude.
I'm telling you.
Very
Wait,
accurate.
nope. It gets better. Jokic going off.
Okay, 3 for 3.
Oh, man.
And then my next note's just 25-20 Nuggets. Bench coughs it up, but this was really the story of the night, is that the starters, quote-unquote starters, not that great tonight. But once you sub in Collin Gillespie, then I'm telling you, with Jokic, of course.
Is
not
the bench
necessarily
fixed?
Is the bench
That's
fixed.
insane.
Collin just started going. The two-man game was working great. Collin does this nice thing where he gets the ball to Jokic every time, and it's a really good strategy. And then Michael Porter, still on fire in the second quarter. We might have had 2 Porter quarters in one game.
A Porter half?
63-48 Nuggets. Third quarter, Nuggets struggled till Collin checked in, and then Collin was balling. There's some other notes down the stretch of the game, but does it really matter? This was one of those 20-point games that ended merely 15 points, but the Nuggets looked really good. The Blazers looked equally as bad.
Yeah.
It is time for the big takeaways presented by Red Hawk Roofing.
Yes.
There
Let's
it is.
go.
My goodness, that Hawk every single. I'm gonna break my roof just so I can hire Red Hawk Roofing. That's how much I believe in their hustle.
Can I do it?
Why don't you just have them come check out your roof?
My
Yeah.
roof's good, man.
Free
I'll go up there
estimates.
with a
My
hammer.
roof's good, man. I'm not gonna waste their time, but I might break it just to have them. Dev, big takeaway.
My big takeaway is there's a lot of complaints about the regular season, the beginning of the season, but what I think is the schedule makers did their thing on this one.
They really did.
Because this came at the perfect timing. You're coming off of a slow stretch the first half of the season. How do you get right? You started out with 2 very bad teams, and it's the narratives that came from the last 2 games. A lot of people got right, and this was the Collin Gillespie and Michael Porter Jr. get right game. And Jokic has already been dominating. So I think that this was incredible stretch for a lot of players on the Nuggets at a perfect time while you're going down the final stretch.
Yeah. I love the schedule makers really get the game ball tonight. It's like great job by them hooking Denver up.
For sure. I mean, my bigger picture takeaway is that the Nuggets, I feel like, have come out of the All-Star break, even though it's been Washington and Portland, they've looked focused. They've looked locked into me. And everything that we heard at practice, like over the last couple of days, seems like it's come to fruition. And I know it's been 2 bad teams, but like they have looked good. You know, they went into the All-Star break looking bad. They've looked good and focused and kind of re-energized coming out of it. So I just like the attention to detail. I like how hard they're playing in these first 2 games. They've just kind of taken care of business. But my bigger takeaway tonight was Collin Gillespie played awesome. He played incredible tonight.
Collin was ballin'.
He was awesome off the bench. 18 points, 7-9 shooting, 4-4 from 3. He was a plus 23. Tied for second best on the team with Aaron Gordon. He was awesome. He played great with Nikola Jokic. Those two seem like they have a good chemistry together. And, I mean, you got to give him his flowers for stepping up and injecting some life into a second unit that needed it tonight.
The game is not that complicated when you have Jokic.
Yeah.
And yet, people do make it complicated sometimes. Get the ball to Jokic.
That's the steady Gillespie game plan right
Dude,
there.
and I'm not even trying to like diminish what he did.
No, totally, yeah.
It's amazing that you go in there and it's like, all right, should I try to do stuff or like read the court? Like, no, man. Jokic reads the court.
Right.
You just have to like set the table for him to get the ball and everything else. And Collin really does a great job of it. He simplifies the game. And then he got himself going. He had a rhythm going, and it just felt like everything was going in. So, steady Gillespie, man.
Yep.
I told you guys before the break that I thought the break could be really good for one Michael Porter Jr. Back-to-back Porter quarters to open the games, back-to-back games. And tonight was more than a Porter quarter. It was a Porter half. Really a Porter game. Great energy, great rebounding, great defense. Hit the open shots, hit some stupid shots. Moving well. You know, hopefully...
Has a nice tan.
Has a nice tan, which might be the secret to the whole thing. So hopefully this continues. But I thought for all the games he played and started for the Nuggets, admirable goal. Thought he needed some rest. Early returns out of the break, or that the rest did him good. Porter's playing well right now. He played great tonight.
Porter was incredible, man. We're really playing all the hits tonight. Porter was great. Found a rhythm. 5 of 10 from 3. Funny, man. I still feel like he missed a lot.
I know, man. Every time.
It's 5 of 10.
I need a 10 of 10 night.
Will we ever be satisfied with Michael Porter's 3-point shooting?
9 of 10.
No way. I think we'd be like, dude, that one he missed
He was wide open in
man.
the corner. It's like, yeah.
The easiest shot of the night.
Yeah.
5 of 10. He was great. We're going to talk about him more. I'll round things out. 29 points, 15 rebounds, 14 assists, 12 of 17 shooting. Jokic's worst game in 9 days. Worst game in 9 days. Puts up a 29, 15, 14. It is true, man. We say it all the time, but it's not normal. It's not normal that this happens. You almost get numb to it. This is a game when I said we'll probably forget this game in 2 weeks. We'll be like, I don't even... What happened in that Blazers game? You said the Collin game. Oh, that's right, the Collin game. But how was Jokic? We might not even remember. He was transcendent. 29, 15, and 14, and he made it look effortless. The guy is a gift that keeps on giving, and I'm not kidding. To tie the Collin and Jokic parts together, man, I really do feel like he touches the ball more than anyone in the NBA, you know, and they do play through him. Everybody does a good job of playing through him. And then it's almost like back in 2014, or we'll go to 2012. The teams were taking 15 threes a game or whatever, and it was like, yeah, but what if they took 17, 18? What if we put that up? And you're like, what's the limit? Is there a limit to this? And nowadays, everyone takes 40 threes a game. That's how I feel about Jokic. What if you gave it to him more, though?
Right.
What if you played through Jokic just a little bit more and kept going to the pocket? It just felt like, look, it was a terrible Portland team. And I know you want to build counters. You want everybody else to kind of develop their own. I'm not trying to say the Nuggets play the wrong way or anything. But games like this where you kind of need it and you have a point guard that's going to go to it, you're like, oh, yeah, he'll be a plus 24 and he'll put up 29, 15, and 14. And the limit of Jokic is actually just whatever the like statistical limits are of what a person can produce when they're on the court. That's what it felt like tonight, at least when he was out there. He had a spin move in the fourth quarter or third or fourth quarter tonight that looked like it was in slow motion and yet was an and one that he created a wide open layup. The guy was awesome.
I mean, 12 of 17, a little disappointing. I will say.
He was off, man. He was off tonight.
Yeah. It's like we always wonder what perfect basketball looks like. I think we know. Nikola Jokic plays perfect basketball, or as close as I've ever seen to it. I mean, these last 2 games, man, it's pretty stunning. Just to watch this guy dissect every single defense, every single defender, every single game plan. Think about what it must be like to coach against Nikola Jokic. That's got to be the worst thing in the world.
I mean, it's how hard do you yell at Ayton? How hard do you yell at Reith? You know, like Reith is just getting cooked out there. How much are you like, hey man, come on, like
there's nothing to say. There's nothing to say.
And then you gotta rotate over. Like it's just man. There's nothing to
we
say.
yelled, we shouted in the bar when he missed a shot. We're like, oh no,
man, I was so down.
We gasped.
Well,
We couldn't believe it.
It's honestly surprising when he does miss.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll have another perfect triple-double, you guys. I said 2. I don't think he'll have another one this year.
He put up
probably should have had one tonight.
on a back-to-back. He put up back-to-back triple doubles. Well, like and really,
He was
quarter.
an assist away from back-to-back 15 games.
Yeah, like that's unreal. It just doesn't happen. But
Back-to-back triple doubles in 3 quarters.
These last 2 games is very, very scary for the league. Like very scary because he's coming off of the All-Star game, which he really did not take seriously. He's around these other superstars, took it as a joke the entire time, gets right back into just whipping ass, and he looks dominant against 2 very bad teams. So what do you think he's going to do against the good teams, where he's in that type of stretch? We've seen him kind of mail it in these type of games just because it's too easy. Not these last 2 games, perfect triple double, and then he goes and just destroys this team right here. That I just feel like he's rejuvenated. He's motivated to just go and dominate. Like, this is an easy stretch for him, and it just looks easier than it has in a long time.
I just have never seen anybody control a game like Nikola Jokic is controlling games right now. I just didn't even know if it was possible.
I also
to control a game like he does, and he's doing it
on both ends too. I think we've almost maybe not done a good enough job talking about his best defensive performances this year. I think, generally speaking, I'll even say not just the peaks, but the floor. Generally speaking, there's a lot of effort on that end on any given night, and Dev is ready to...
Why do you do this?
What's going on?
Dev makes fun of me because I like to shout out Jokic's defense after opposing centers score like 25 points without breaking a sweat. But I do think that...
Yo, can I... Hold up, though. Who cares? Ayton had 22 tonight?
I'm okay with it. I'm standing by my take.
I think it's, like, smart.
I just like when I start to say this and I see Dev off camera opening his mouth like he's about to call me the dumbest person. I do think, generally speaking, this year, Jokic worked really hard on that end and played smart defensive basketball. And I thought maybe that would take a nosedive after the title. And it hasn't, and that's been really encouraging.
Dude, hold up a second, though. 8 and 22 points tonight. That's awesome. Game worst minus 20. I'm telling you, Jokic is good at this stuff. Like, there are centers, and Sabonis...
This is what we said about when they played Ayton the last time, too.
I did it.
That's
why does it keep happening?
Because I've done it twice now.
Like, I do think he does things on purpose. Whatever. I'm not going to go into that.
No. I'm not saying like... I'm just saying that when... most teams get the ball to their big on the pick and pop, he's like, this is a good outcome for us. Because nothing else comes off it. There's not going to be an offensive rebound. Like, there's nothing good. And look, he made 11 of the attempts that he took tonight. It's like, cool. He needed to make 30 of them because to make it worthwhile.
No, I get that. I think he's a genius. I do think that he plays into that Ayton part. Like, I think he's okay with him going off or him having a game or that being the game plan. So I agree with those type of things. I'm not going against Vogt.
No, he's making fun of me, and he's right too. It's the second time I've done it. I just love the callback.
Jokic is awesome, man. It really is fun. And here's the other thing. He had been in a little bit of a triple-double drought. You guys know?
Yeah.
He only had 3
that.
triple-doubles going into the All-Star break, like 3 of the last, 11 or 12 games.
Teams
were
were turning him into a scorer.
Teams a little bit, but also maybe there was a little bit of loss of focus. Or,
Well, the Nuggets 3-point shooting has been down
Yeah.
the last couple weeks.
Yeah.
But Cut the eye of the Joker lately. 21, 19, 15 last game. Of course, famously 10 of 10. And then tonight to basically just put up a repeat performance, 29, 15, 14 on 12 of 16. Yes, terrible teams. I don't care. It's nice to see King Yoke back.
I agree.
It's just, I just didn't know basketball could look like this.
Yeah.
I really didn't.
He is incredible. The Michael Porter piece of this is really interesting to me too, though. 34 points is a lot of points. Where is that on Michael Porter's all-time high? Do we know off the top of our head?
37 is his high, right?
This is the most points Michael Porter scored since 2021.
Really?
34 points, yeah. Most he's scored since 2021.
That part to me, like if I had to put a button, I mean, look, we talked about Yoke because he's just so transcendent and it's fun. This to me feels more like a Michael Porter game. Collin Gillespie's in there too. That one almost feels a little more novelty. I'm not trying to take anything away from him. Michael Porter tonight going 5 of 10 from 3 and getting 34 points. And by the way, a double-double, 12 rebounds. Took some shots that I missed them, even though I don't necessarily think it's good that they've been taken out of his game for the most part. But he had a couple tonight that were fadeaways, just crazy shots.
The step back rainbow one over the contest. We haven't seen that in a long time.
Or the net just doesn't even move, just kind of barely like flutters. I love what I saw from Michael Porter tonight. I really liked what I saw from him.
It's like the type of shots that he's shooting, especially shot in this game. Those are not the typical just stand in the corner, just run around and find some type. He created for himself. He had some step backs. He was feeling good. Like this is like beyond confidence because I mean he's one of the best shooters in the entire world. But it's the array of difficulty on his shots that he was like, I'm going to get it up, and I feel good about that. And his teammates felt good about him taking those type of shots. You didn't see anybody drop their head. They made sure that they found him on a lot of plays, and this is playing without their point guard. Like this was having to adjust on the fly, going through Jokic, and Jokic found him. Other teammates found him, and he was ready to shoot it. And he's been great on the rebounding. He's been making sure to crash the boards and work on that end of the floor. This is a good stretch for Michael Porter Jr. right now.
He's looked really locked in, really just focused coming out of the All-Star break too. And what I felt tonight with MPJ was a lot of times when Jamal Murray's out, Michael Porter Jr. is quote-unquote the second option. But, he can fade in and out of games. Definitely. He can have a Porter quarter, and then we won't hear from him for the rest of the game. It felt like tonight he was more the true number 2 option throughout the entire game.
Good take.
And he had the great first quarter, and then it wasn't the last we heard from him tonight.
Correct. Love
and
that.
So it felt like he was the true number 2 guy. And it doesn't always feel that way when Jamal Murray's out of the lineup.
It's a great take.
Also did stuff. An assist, a steal, and a block. Got other stuff involved.
He actually? No.
I mean, it's an assist. I'm saying he could have had 0. He had 1.
Some of his assists lately have been built differently. I will say that.
Oh, wow.
Some of his assists lately. No, I'm serious.
I can't wait to hear this.
Some of these assists have. So look, sometimes his assists are he throws grenades to Jokic. Lately, there's
not
been
a bad idea.
Some of these, I dare call them reads. I'm just saying.
First of all, you said some of these. He had 1.
Yeah.
I meant
when you put together.
I actually really want to go back and look at what the one assist was too. I
if you
can't
have
wait.
5
the
games,
last 2 games he's passed the ball.
I can't wait to find out.
You gotta post it on Twitter and tag Vogt. You gotta.
Somebody go back and find MPJ's one assist tonight. I really want to see what it was.
it's gonna be like the most open play. Like had to give it
I
up.
want to see if it was a read or not.
He made one pick and roll game a game ago.
Was it a read?
He made one pick and roll read a game ago, and I'm still hanging on to it.
Like in the last 5 games, he has a couple of good passes.
All right.
Couple good
reads.
reads.
Reads. Yeah, what the pass? The pass. That's like it was the read,
I don't
dude.
even know if they were assists. I stand by it, kind of. We saw the whole Arsenal tonight, which I loved. So he hit his threes, which is awesome.
Poor couch.
The high degree
tomorrow.
of difficulty, like mid-range bailout shot he hit.
Yeah.
My favorite Porter play was when he sealed Anthony Simons, caught it, and like sometimes Porter will seal for like a mid post and then fade away with a smaller guy.
2 dribbles backwards.
But to be fair, Jokic may have gave him no choice. Jokic passed him so open that Porter actually just laid it up at the rim.
Yeah.
But we saw it all, and there's been a lot of decent Porter performances this year where you go, if he just had this going, if he just had that going. But tonight I thought he had, to some extent, all three levels working a little bit. And you just see the confidence growing right now, man. He looks great.
Yeah, on a serious note, like his playmaking, his understanding of the Nuggets offense has grown.
That's what I'm trying to say.
He is a much better passer and reader of the game and playmaker than he even was last year. Like that actually has been a part of his game that has really improved.
He also had 4 offensive rebounds, and this is also becoming a trend.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw it in the last game, and we saw it tonight. I do think there's something there. Yes, some of this is getting to play a little bit different positionally, but some of it is also, I think, a commitment to going to the boards and saying, hey, this is a place I can go. So 2 games in a row with double-digit boards, 4 offensive boards. That's impressive, man. I like Mike, man. I know like Mike is a bit polarizing to fans. There are fans that really hate Mike, and I get why. He doesn't have the greatest feel for the game. So when we're lauding him for, growing in that department or whatever, there is something to
It's
like.
big.
It is big, but also like not everybody has the same gifts. And the feel for the game is the most frustrating one when a player doesn't necessarily have it.
Yes.
I don't think it's selfishness. I don't think it's anything like that. I think it's just sometimes he doesn't read it as well as, say, a Jokic or a Gordon or one of those guys. But played great tonight. 13 of 21. Took the most shots on the team. Went 13 of 21. 5 of 10 from 3. And I kind of hope. We talked in the pregame, 39.2%. Will he be above or below that by the end of the year? Tonight was a nice step in the right direction for being higher than that. And if
By the
of
end
10
of
from
tonight,
3.
it was the first time in a long time, honestly, and I'm the Porter guy.
yeah,
The wide
Really?
open threes, I'm kind of at 39.2% confidence.
right.
Tonight was the first time by the end of the night where he was getting some up, and I was like, that's going in.
Yeah.
I have no doubt.
There you go. All right, let's take a break. On the other side, we will talk about Steady Gillespie. Steady Gillespie. He was more than Steady Gillespie tonight. He was balling Gillespie.
He really was.
Guys, Miller Lite, so excited to have these guys on board.
Hell
It's
yeah.
Miller time at DNVR. It's my go-to light beer. If you're going to go with a light beer, you got to go Miller Lite. Great taste, 96 calories. That's something that at our age, some of us have to think about. Go to MillerLite.com/DNVR, MillerLite.com/DNVR.
Every single one of us has to think about that. We don't have any. Nobody in the DNVR Nuggets world doesn't have to think. We don't have
No.
like a Zach Stevens.
I don't know, Vogt's pretty skinny.
Vogt has to think about it.
Okay. Miller Lite, brewed
Thanks,
for
Harrison.
taste. It hits different than other light beers. Look, a lot of light beers that you drink, they taste like water. They have zero taste to them. Miller Lite actually has taste. No games, no gimmicks. Just a great beer for people who like beer. Like
This
I
tastes
said,
so good, I'll tell you.
96 calories. I bet it does. 3.2 grams of carbs per 12 ounces. Miller Time, always a good time. The original light beer. The original. Since 1975. MillerLite.com/DNVR to find delivery options near you, or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere where they sell beer. Tastes like Miller Time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
It's Miller time, baby. It's also American financing time. A lot of us are struggling to keep up with everyday bills. Everything's pretty expensive right now. Homeowners know this better than most, but there's good news. You have a way out of this credit card spiral. If you own a home, I want you to call our friends at American Financing and tell them DNVR sent you, because they're trying to save you some money. Mortgage rates are lower than they've been in a long time and much better than the average credit card rate. Our friends at American Financing are saving their customers an average of $854 a month. A month. That's a great number, and it's so specific so you know it's accurate. By tapping into their home's equity and wiping out high interest credit card debt, call American Financing, and if you call today, you might be able to delay 2 mortgage payments. Do tell them DNVR sent you. Call today at 303-695-7000. That's 303-695-7000. Or go to AmericanFinancing.net/DNVR. NMLS 182334. NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
Jamal Murray was out tonight. Reggie Jackson got the start. And yet the best point guard on the court, maybe on either side of the floor tonight, was Collin Gillespie. 18 points, 4 assists, 2 rebounds, 1 steal, played 24 minutes, 7 of 9 shooting, 4 of 4 from the three-point line, and 0 turnovers.
Yeah.
0 turnovers is big considering how many minutes he played. And as I mentioned, simplified the game. In my opinion, simplified the game. Just ran the pick and roll, ran the offense, got the ball exactly where it was supposed to be. This was a big game for Collin. I will say this. I think it's a type of game that leaves a long impression. When you're a young guy like this, like, I don't know, he's not going to play when Murray's back, but, guys will be out. I just feel like he earned himself tonight in Malone's eyes. He probably earned himself 2 bad games with how he played tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he just did everything that you could have asked from him tonight. He played well on offense. He set Nikola Jokic up. He hit his threes. He flew around. He played with energy. And he played great. Like, when you go to a guy like Collin Gillespie, you just want some spark. You just want some juice. And he was able to deliver that for the second unit tonight. He was great. And I agree, like, coming into this game, I want to see Jalen Pickett. I think, like, Jalen Pickett is potentially a guy for the Nuggets next season. I don't think Collin Gillespie will be. But you're right, I think. This season, this game, with Michael Malone, I think will earn him a couple more shots, no doubt.
There's a reason that I'm not the coach of the Nuggets, because I would have benched him. I would have benched him. It just made sense for me. But then he has these type of games that, like, Malone is like, I told you that this guy can play. There was questions of, like, if he's – because I think he's a good basketball player.
He's an awesome
But the question
player.
Is he an NBA basketball player?
Yeah, right.
You guys just said it. He was the best guard on either team. That's just kind of what it was. He proved that he can play. This is a big game, not just for him, like for anybody. 18 points, no turnovers for a point guard.
Yeah.
7 of 9, super efficient, stood out in all the right ways, did not have any negative plays that you can remember. That's what you're asking for your backup point guard. And this is the 3rd string point guard. This is really a 4th string, point guard, because he can't go into the postseason. So, yeah, this doesn't buy him only a couple of bad games. This is like what you put on a highlight tape to, like, show, like, I am an NBA player. So, like, he proved a lot in this game. This was a monster game from Collin Gillespie.
I mean, you said it. Collin is an awesome basketball player. Like, great college player, national champion, was the best point guard in college as a senior. He knows the game. He knows how to play the game. He's an incredibly smart player. He just knows basketball. The question is if he can be an NBA guy. But also, like, you can feel really good for Collin with a game like this, too.
Totally.
This is a guy who lost his entire rookie season to an injury. It's a guy who had to work back and rehab from a really scary injury, like a serious injury. So to see him work back from that and have a game like this, I can be happy for him.
Here's what I think of Collin. Because I'm with you. Look, he deserves all the praise for tonight. There are prospects. Those are players that, whether they're good or bad, they can be great, and you have to kind of invest in them. And then there are replacement players. Collin's a replacement player. And tonight, Michael Malone treated it as, we need a replacement. We don't have Jamal Murray, we need a replacement. And I think Collin is a really good option there because, again, he knows he's a good basketball player. Yeah. I do think that, look, you're playing a shorthanded, especially in the backcourt, shorthanded, worst team in the league, or one of the worst teams in the league. So and you play him with Yoke primarily. So conditions were as favorable as you could have hoped for a guy like that. So I'm not trying to take anything away from him. But that is, to me, that the hype for me stops there. This was a great game for a guy that was asked to be an understudy, step up once, and be in there. And Malone is electing to go that route rather than to play the project player, which would be Pickett, who probably would have been worse tonight because he's not a replacement guy, probably has more polishing and different things, and maybe is like a prospect that never makes it. And Malone's electing to go that route. Whether or not it's the right route or not, I don't know. But tonight, you get a 20-point win over Portland, which is job well done. That's what you needed to do, and he made it extra easy.
Yeah, and from the Collin perspective, it's just confidence. When you're that good, you see yourself do it at the next level. Not that I think Collin was wanting for confidence or lacking it, but you watch yourself go 4 for 4 in an NBA game. We can sit here and say, yeah, it's just the Blazers. Collin's not saying it's just the Blazers. That was an NBA team, and he did his thing. And
right, like we can't talk about Jokic's night and how great and incredible and breathtaking it was, and dismiss Collins because they're against the same team.
And he got it done. So from his perspective, it's I mean, I'm sure he can't wait to play basketball again right now. I'm sure he'd play another game right now if he could.
Right.
And so that's the Gillespie Pickett conversation happens because of the contract. And
Is it over though?
I would say
For
no.
this season, probably.
For this season, sure. Yeah, I guess so.
But where are you next season?
Collin Gillespie's not going to be on the team next year, dude.
I know, but
Gillespie, Jalen Pickett could be the backup point guard next year.
Could he though?
Yes.
I mean, not at the stretch. We just are talking about it. All the other guards.
Trust me, he could be the backup point guard next season.
Man, I'm just saying this is why I talk about this, because I always think about, okay, what is the synergy between front office and coach? What is the plan? Are you on the same page? And my whole thing is, I don't think there's any way you can go into an offseason and not pick up a backup point guard. I mean, you have Reggie, but we all thought Reggie, the contract signals, okay, he plays a year and then you trade him. That's what it sure feels like. But now it looks like you go, I don't even know if that's an option, man. I think that you limit yourself, and that's the only reason that these are always uncomfortable conversations for me.
Yeah.
And if he didn't play ttonight with this lineup, like, again, this was the most favorable spot you could put either one of those two guys in. And again, he played A++, like better than I could have possibly imagined. But if you're not going to play him in that moment, you're just not going to play him, and that means you're going to go into an offseason not knowing what's the word.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I think this is like...
For sure.
Basketball's so interesting. The NBA, it's so interesting, roster dynamics and how you go about it, and that was a good example of it. KCP played tonight with a broken finger. 9 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal. 1 of 3 from three-point line, 2 of 5. Just so impressed, man. So impressed with KCP playing through the injury, getting 33 minutes, by the way. By the way, why 33 minutes tonight? What was that about?
Why the starters go back in at the end of the game?
You played
I don't
35
know.
minutes tonight. You think it's conditioning or something?
No.
I kind of do. I mean, it's the second night of a back-to-back, and you put them back in. You're, like, trying to push them to, like, get back into, like, running shape and stuff, especially coming off of a break.
They were up 19 points with 6 minutes to go on the second night of a back-to-back.
Yeah, I think that it is some conditioning. But, like, to stick on to KCP, like, he has some crazy...
He didn't have a broken finger. Sorry, I said broken finger, and I didn't. I think that's incorrect. I said broken finger, but he does not.
He had some memorable
Injured
defensive
finger.
plays. Like, this was he always plays great, but some of those plays is wild to just see how engaged, how locked in he is defensively, no matter who it is that he's going against. Like, I mean, you expect that when he's playing against, one of these superstars, but like for him to be so locked in on defense against these type of players, chasing down loose balls, throwing them off of opposing guys, getting out and playing hard, even though he's going through an injury, he could have mailed it in. So this was a game. I think it was his pinky also.
It was.
Oh, it's a pinky
I
finger?
think it's his
Pinky.
right
Does that make it less
pinky.
impressive?
No, because you can still rest.
I mean,
Yeah.
it does less impressive. If there was a pinky if there was a finger that you could hurt, you would choose your pinky.
I just love the competitor that KCP is. I mean, a lot of guys, if you're banged up second night of the back-to-back in the NBA, you're resting. You're not taking any chances, especially with an injury like a pinky that can be aggravated so easily, and that he has like aggravated before. And yeah, like he just loves to play, man. Like KCP's just a hooper like that. He loves the game. He loves being out there.
You said Aaron Gordon was going to eat tonight. 8.7 assists. Are we counting that?
No,
Plus 23?
He was a plus 23.
he was really good in the first half. They kind of, it could be him, like just kind of waned in it.
Yeah.
But they were up big, so they didn't need him to be like the defensive presence. They didn't, especially with all the other guys going off. Like he was just like, I'm gonna just fade into the background, or I'm just gonna just chill on this type of night. Also, he wasn't in that like the stretch that they had when they brought everybody back in. Like he came in for just a tad bit. But I think this was just a regular game for him to get cardio, to compete, to play hard, and you get that every single time out.
And then what about Reggie Jackson? If there's one guy tonight, I don't want to say concerned, but Reggie did not have a great game tonight. He somehow was a -1 in this blowout win despite playing half his minutes with Yoke. He had just 9 points, 4 of 10, 1 of 5 from 3, 3 assists, 2 turnovers. That's the one guy.
Reggie to me is the one guy in the top 8 right now that I don't feel great about.
because you know that the job for Christian and Peyton is more narrow, so they can do that narrow job.
And Reggie's job
A little more broad.
is in the playoffs is he's got to get some buckets, man.
Yeah.
Like he's gonna have to score a little bit. He's gonna have to take care of the ball. He's gonna have to play within himself, and like Denver will need him to put the ball in the basket in the playoffs, and like you just wonder if he's gonna be able to do that somewhat efficiently.
I can't explain it. And it's just like gut intuition or hunch. Really, not even like intuition, just hunch. I kind of feel like he is, though. I feel like Reggie is not going to be great in the playoffs, except for in a handful of games, and they swing a series.
I think he'll probably have a moment in the playoffs.
I think moments. I think there will be like, all right, there's a game in every series.
I mean, he has been there many times before. He's very playoff tested. He's played in a lot of playoff games. He's played well in a lot of playoff games. So from that perspective, like, he does look shaky, but you should have some confidence that he'll come through.
He could learn from Collin, though, just a little.
How's that?
You're playing with Yoke, man. Just get him the ball. Like,
But that is the biggest thing when you watch those two type of players. Reggie feel like he has already proven so much in this league.
He has.
And he continues to try to press. He's not okay with the calmness and I know that this is the easier play. I know that this is what I'm going to go through every time. And when you press, that's when you have turnovers. That's when you're overthinking. That's when you're taking tough shots and you stand out in the wrong way. Collin is okay with just trying to blend in. And if he makes a big play, he makes a big play. But he knows what his bread and butter is. He knows what's going to keep him on the court. So I think he has a shorter leash, so you kind of have to play in a different way. Reggie is just a live wire. He's out there just going. He's on go every single time. And sometimes it gets the best of him. So this was not a good game from him, but you're going to have good games from him. You're going to have bad games from him. And that's why I think he could swing a series, because sometimes he's going to have it. Sometimes he won't.
Yeah. By the way, as we wrap up this segment, one of Jokic or Collin or Christian has to change up their look. It's all tights.
Who's the list?
Nothing else. It's just tights.
This season's racist.
Same haircut. Same colors. Not even it's like same. They're all white. They're different shades of white. They're the same shade. They have the same haircut. They look the exact same. They have the same
shade.
nose. Where are you going? You're heading out here.
He's uncomfortable with this
How
conversation.
Are we uncomfortable with this conversation? What is wrong with this conversation? I'm saying they all look exactly
Let me
alike.
get out.
They dress the exact
He said,
same.
let me get out of here before my Boston comes out of me. I have to get out of here before I say something else.
He's like, shit, I've had this conversation before.
Not like, honestly, when you watch them, they really do look like big and little
Was it
brothers
because
or something.
somebody said that the announcer confused Christian Brown and Collin Gillespie tonight?
Which is funny because you wouldn't really confuse them, right? The size is very obvious, but they do look. You know, there's like Canadian geese and cackling geese.
Yeah.
Same, just bigger and smaller.
Yeah,
That's
man.
what they're like,
All right,
man.
well,
I'll be seeing cackling geese all the time.
So we know
probably
we
do
know
be
Yoke
seeing
isn't going to change up his look.
Yeah. He's the least that should.
We know Christian Brown tried and it didn't go well.
It just didn't.
Oh, you're right.
He's not creative enough. It can't be him.
You're right. He chose
Collin
the
might
worst
be the
change.
only
Collin's
chance.
got to change it up, man. He's got to go headband or something.
Never.
Headbands.
They're too bland.
A headband with hair is a tough look. It's a tough look.
Headband with hair. Yeah, you're probably right.
The Adam Morrison.
With like white guy hair.
Don't you feel
know,
like Collin actually
straight hair?
You know what Collin has though? Collin has t-shirt under his jersey energy.
Ooh,
Don't you agree?
I love that for him. Yeah.
T-shirt under the jersey, like an oversized t-shirt.
Yeah.
That's what I think. Got to change it up. All right, let's take a break. On the other side, we'll talk a little Zeke Nnaji, who's still in the rotation, 2 games in a row.
That'd be a real like lunch pail point guard look.
Yeah.
You know? Slap the floor point guard.
I like the t-shirt under. That was
I love it, too.
90s. It was big time. man.
Eric Gordon at Indiana, best one to do
I
it.
remember that one.
Khalid El-Amin at UConn. Bet365, never ordinary. You can download the Bet365 app. Sign up with that QR code right there on the screen. Vote. We're done with the conversation. You can use that code and sign up. With that offer, you can get a lot of great deals. You can deposit $10 and choose between either a bet and get offer, place a $5 bet or more, get $150 in bonus bets, or a first bet safety net offer, Place a bet up to $1,000. If your qualifying bet loses, you receive a matched refund in the form of a bonus bet. Make sure to download the Bet365 app. With the code DNVR365, must be 21 plus, physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or somebody you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Also, shout out to Red Hawk Roofing, the roofers of DNVR. They're our guys. A lot of times they're just here chilling at the bar with us, watching the Nuggets. Talk Nuggets, talk roofing with them, whatever. They're game for all of it. Decades of experience, quality materials, quick response time, and they give you a free, no obligation roof and property inspection as well. So if you're looking for a roof over your home or business, new roof, repairs, whatever it might be, check out redhawkroofing.com. redhawkroofing.com. Tell them DNVR sent you.
Zeke Nnaji back in the rotation. 2 games in a row. 11 minutes tonight, 6 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal. His first play of the game, do you guys remember, checked in? Monster board, goes up and dunks it over like 3 guys. Tenacious Zeke, I'm rooting for it, man. How would we track game 2 of the, is there like a, there's no good pun with Zeke Nnaji and Renaissance.
The Zeke-assance.
There you go. How's it going?
This was like, what, 3 straight good games from him?
Yep.
It was 3
in a row, yeah.
Well, the one before the break,
Right
yeah.
before the break, he played well, and then 2 right now. And again, he's back in the rotation. He's back to getting, some minutes. And this is another good game. And it just looks different. It looks different than having a DeAndre Jordan. Just really, it's the versatility. It's just how much he can do and how much the Nuggets can do when he's out there. So you need those type of games from him. Gets a dunk, grabbing boards, showing the versatility defensively where he can step out on multiple positions. That's big for him. So as much as he can of putting these games in a row, that's another thing that you could do with this bench unit who now has Collin Gillespie playing out of his mind. They might have answered some things. This is big.
No, it is a big development, absolutely. And look, Zeke Nnaji hasn't had a good season. He's played bad in the few chances that he's got. I also don't think how he's been used has been great for his confidence overall, the quick hook and leash that he's been on. But he's a better player than he's shown this year. No, he's been bad, but I just believe he's a better player than what he's shown. And these last 2 games, I mean, he's played well. We can say that. Like, he's played well. He's played within himself. He's done his job. He's finished around the basket better than he has earlier this season. He got 3 rebounds today in 11 minutes. That's decent. 2 offensive rebounds, finishing inside. So these are definitely positive, confidence-building stints from Zeke Nnaji.
This next game is a big one because, this schedule has been so favorable for the Nuggets, getting these softies, even though it was a back-to-back, relatively softies. Golden State presents a really interesting challenge, man. They've been good. They, they play a different style than anybody else. You go on the road, to Chase Center. I'm actually really excited for this because as excited as I am about how Denver's handled business against these crummy teams, I do think it is equal parts. Denver looks good and locked in and dialed, and the teams they're playing against look terrible. Golden State's not going to look terrible. Golden State's going to look good, on Sunday. And I'm just so curious, to see how that game goes. And I'm curious to see if Zeke plays. It's easy for Malone, in my opinion, to play him against the Wizards and against the Blazers. It's a little harder when it's like Chase Center, and those minutes can't be -8. They got to be like some kind of neutral or better.
That's going to tell a lot. Like, this next game is going to be very, very telling because you could play anybody against these teams that they've been playing, and he already alluded to like getting to a smaller rotation, getting closer to the playoff rotation. And I don't think that he's going to be in it, but if you get 8 minutes, 7 minutes from him, that's part of the rotation. That's part of the guys that matter. So I think that this Warriors team, that's one that you could actually get a gauge of what it's going to look like. Not only for Zeke, but the backup. I want to see if they still elect to go with Collin Gillespie. I want to see if they still keep the bench unit, intact the way that they are. I think that this is a very important game for just the Nuggets' outlook.
Zeke Nnaji playing well down the stretch of the season would be big. Primarily, like, for a number of reasons. Like, it's great for Zeke. It can boost his trade value in the summer, blah, blah, blah. But the biggest reason that it would be a huge development is because it would allow Nikola Jokic to spend more minutes on the bench. And I thought Jokic had some interesting comments, the other night. Actually, that was last night. After the win at home over the Wizards, when he was asked about how he felt coming out of the All-Star break, and he said, I didn't really get to rest that much. I don't really feel rested or recovered. I still feel like I didn't really have much of a break. So a storyline down the stretch for this Nuggets team is going to be the amount of rest that the starters get. And from everything that Michael Malone and this team has said, it seems like that's going to be a priority.
And yet he put him back in tonight up 19 points with 6 minutes to go.
On the second night of a back-to-back. I know.
Michael Malone needs to, have a talk with Michael Malone.
Yeah. But in theory,
Yeah.
Zeke Nnaji playing well will be big for the rest of the starters.
Here's a crazy stat, and it comes courtesy of Jake Coyne, a.k.a. the Stat Squatch. Tonight was the 4th time Nikola Jokic and Michael Porter Jr. went for 25 points, 10 rebounds, and shot 60% or better in the same game. That is tied for the most games by any duo since the 1976 merger. They're tied now with Hakeem Olajuwon and Ralph Sampson.
Anytime you bring up the merger, that's an impressive stat.
But also, I know there are stats that are real and stats that are fake. This one's half real because you're talking about a very specific qualifier. 25, 10, 60% shooting. It's not like that. We're talking about 3 kind of random qualifiers, but nonetheless, those numbers don't feel that outlandish. 25 points, 10 rebounds, 60% shooting, and yet no duo has done it as much as Jokic, or only one duo ever has done it as much as Jokic.
That's kind of you would think there'd be 2 guys who have done that more than 4 times since then.
I'm telling you, it's the greatest tragedy of the Jokic era that Porter also got hurt in the Murray injury year. I just wish we got a full season of it just to see what happened, man.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it would have been great. I'm not saying they would have done this, although who knows. But I just do think that there's something there between when Jokic and Porter both go off, man. The Nuggets never lose.
And tonight, Jokic was looking for Porter a lot, too, it seemed like.
Yeah, and I was going to say, I think that it's because of the way that the offense operates when Jamal's not there, because he has to have the ball in his hands. He also creates for himself. Michael Porter Jr. is okay not having to create for himself, but he gets creative with his shots and things like that. But they make sure that they put the ball in Jokic's hand when Jamal is not out there. So, the offense just looks way different.
The ball is popping.
And especially with Michael Porter Jr., he gets to operate without the ball. He does not have to put it on the floor. He gets a lot of open looks. He's shot ready every single time because he knows he's going to be part of the offense. And it's not to say that either offense is better, but it looks a lot different, and the numbers clearly back it on efficiency.
Yeah. When Jamal Murray's not out there, we talked about earlier how nobody has the ball in their hands more than Nikola Jokic per game. When Jamal Murray's not out there, that number goes even higher. Jokic has the ball in his hands even more. That means the ball is popping more. That means probably more open threes. That means other guys getting shots, not named Jamal Murray because he's not playing. The ball was flying around tonight.
Yeah. All right, let's take a break. On the other side, Super Chats around the association. Wrapping up the show. Heading off into the weekend.
You know what I could really go for right now?
Miller Lite. We already did that.
Yes. But also Illegal Pete's.
Oh, man.
Illegal Pete's, this episode brought to you by Illegal Pete's. They got a new location in Wheat Ridge, Colorado. Wheat Ridge, you now have friends in the burrito business. They got so many different locations. They got one right down the street from us here on Colfax. We stop in there all the time. Also, Illegal Pete's Golds opens the doors February 29th for their grand opening. Swing by, join the festivities, live music, endless margaritas, of course, all your favorite burrito fixings, located in Gold's Marketplace, corner of 26th and Kipling. So go check them out there, overlooking Crown Hill Park. That's in Wheat Ridge. Stop by to be a part of this historical Illegal Pete's moment. Every time an Illegal Pete's opens up, a historical moment in Colorado.
Shouts to Wheat Ridge.
Shouts to Wheat Ridge, yeah. Get an Illegal Pete's
Shout out
location.
them, man.
Also, shout out to Circle K.
Shout out to Circle K.
Our favorite gas station.
Shout out them, man.
They're really the best, man. Great gas, great food as well. That's important for a gas station. You know, you stop in there late night.
You might go in there and see some DNVR stuff.
Maybe you might. Probably.
You stop by, get some gas.
You're opening the door, you might notice a little something.
Checking out, you might notice something.
Yeah. But you can also become part of the Circle K Inner Circle Rewards program. It's free. You can use that QR code on the screen, or you can go to circlek.com/inner-circle, sign up with your email and phone number, and you get 25 cents off your first 5 fill-ups. Get other discounts on food, drinks, Polar Pops. Get a free any size Polar Pop from Colorado Circle K by texting DNVR to 31310 and sign up for their Inner Circle Rewards program as well.
There you have it. All right, back here, final segment. We do a quick little around the association. There's some good games, Dev.
Let's do it.
There was some good games. There was a lot of games tonight.
We
in
got
the East and in the West.
Let's rapid fire.
A couple of mixed ones, too. The Sixers win 104-97 over the Cavaliers. Jared Allen had 24 points, 9 rebounds. Darius Garland had 20 points, 9 assists, but it was not enough. As the Sixers pull out the win, Tyrese Maxey had 24 points. He went 9 of 22 from the field, but they secured the win.
Cavs falling apart a little bit out of the break. What's going on here, Cavs? You were so good before it.
Donovan Mitchell did not play in this game, so that kind of
That helps.
changed a couple of things. The Toronto Raptors win 123-121
Do we need this one?
over the Hawks.
Do we need this
You
one?
want to skip this?
I think we can skip Hawks Raptors.
You know what? I like that. I like hearing that.
Yeah, let's skip that
Let's
one.
skip that one.
We should have a skip. We each get a skip. I'm going to use my skip.
Miami beats. You skipping this one?
No way.
Yeah, Miami beats the Pelicans. This one was a crazy one.
There was
because
a fight in this game,
There was
right?
a fight in the game. Najee Marshall, quick choke of Jimmy Butler. Then it was retaliation. Thomas Bryant, you guys remember him?
Of course.
Yeah.
Him and Jose was
My
about to
memory's
fight.
not that bad.
What are we talking about? Yeah, I remember him.
They were like fighting. Like people got
Yeah.
ejected from this game. It got kind of crazy.
There was a little malice in the palace going on. Did you see that?
The crowd was getting into
I think
it a
a
little
fan
bit.
got ejected
So,
for throwing something.
Wearing a McCollum jersey. Do we think that might be a McCollum relative?
That'd be a
You
little
don't
crazy.
think a lot of people wear McCollum jerseys in New
No,
Orleans?
that's what I'm trying to ask.
Probably.
You think McCollum sells a lot of jerseys?
I mean, yeah, it's not like it was guaranteed to be a relative.
You sell
Yeah.
a Zion jersey. You sell.
It
an
wasn't a
Ingram
Gillespie jersey.
Yeah, I mean, if it was like a
You think they sell? All right, I guess you're right.
a
McCollum,
Jeremiah
yeah.
Robinson Earl
That one,
jersey,
yeah.
that would have been suspicious.
that would have been a family.
A CJ McCollum jersey, man. That's
Matt
just
Ryan
tough.
jersey. Yeah, like we would have problems.
They don't sell Matt Ryan.
It wasn't me.
Zion at 23 points, he was a minus 23, 9 of 22 from the field. And this is like off the heels of all the Stephen A. Smith conversation.
Bro,
I just love
actually, how do
they
you
keep
think
on
about it?
going.
Can you explain that real quick?
Yeah,
Can you pull it up, Kale? Go look at the Pelicans Twitter.
The
You'll
Pelicans
know what we're
Twitter,
talking about.
somebody had
Bro.
some fun where they did a highlight tape.
Bro.
A high-low tape.
A low light tape.
A low height tape.
A low dark tape.
They went at Stephen A. Smith's neck, and
What happened? Why are they going at
Well,
him?
because he keeps on attacking Zion and how much he loves cheeseburgers and how he knows all the chefs in town personally, and they tell him how fat he is and how
I'm
much
jealous,
he
man.
eats. So, like, it is pretty mutual. The
How
crazy
he
part
knows
is
all the chefs.
Stephen, yeah. Stephen A. Smith is like doubling down. He doesn't care, man.
It's not just that he's fat. He knows all the chefs personally.
man.
He's even saying like,
Throw it on while he's
I
talking.
know all the,
know
the
Sam.
chefs. We talk about this. We have conversations about how fat he is and how much he loves to eat.
They just made a low light. Look at this. Boom. Falls down. They're showing his stats from college. 1.5 points per game.
And he keeps defending this one.
Bro, 1.5. Look at they made a video. They like actually
Yeah,
went
this
out of
is
their way to
impressive
edit
work.
a video.
This
and
is
show
really impressive
Airball. Like, that's incredible. That is a real troll. And then they go out and lose to the Heat. 15 points in the fourth quarter, man. Jimmy
Yeah.
Butler must have got the last laugh.
That's
Dude,
wild.
these are the situations Jimmy Butler just thrives in.
He was
man.
begging somebody to do this to
Yeah,
him.
like he probably had visions of Karl Anthony Towns in that practice from Minnesota when he was looking at Zion
I think he's
Williamson
gonna go
and
crazy
Brandon
next game.
Ingram.
He's gonna have a monster game
Oh,
and
Brandon Ingram
probably
didn't
bring it
even
up.
play
He's
this.
real childish. He's motivated by these type of things. The Wizards, who the Nuggets just played. You know, if you want to get right, you go against the Wizards.
So true.
They lose by 41 points tonight.
Wow.
Second night of a back-to-back. They play OKC
Thunder on
Thunder.
a second night of a back-to-back too.
OKC is playing against the Wizards. It don't matter what they're doing over there. It's minus 30s all across the board. It's wild. And then it's just nothing but positive on the other side. SGA plays, lock him in for 30. He had 30 exact every single time, plus 38, 9 assists, 7 rebounds. He's also passing the ball. Chet had 25 points, 10 rebounds. Everybody was in double digits
I
here.
like every player in their rotation.
They're good right now. They're honestly good.
They
I don't
are
really
they
love
are a
Aaron
really
Wiggins,
good team. Was this Gordon Hayward's debut?
No, he's been playing.
Yeah, he played last night.
Oh right, they're on back to back.
The Clippers win 101-95. This is kind of close against the
Clippers
Grizzlies.
not looking that great at last little bit here. Kind of keep an eye on them.
Honestly, if you look at when the Clippers are good and when they're bad, when James Harden is bad, the Clippers are real bad.
He's
He
the head
was
of the snake.
real bad in this game. 1 of 8 from the field, only had 9 points, 8 assists, 8 rebounds. But that they've put everything around him. Terrence Mann has been playing really well. 23 points, 12 rebounds.
The most interesting part of this game for the Clippers might be that PJ Tucker played for the first time in like 3 months.
Oh yeah, and
They sent him home. He had to like readjust his mind.
And now he's back.
Now he's playing.
Going
Bones
for a
Island.
-4 in 14 minutes.
good point.
Not quite.
Jaren Jackson Jr. had 29 points, but the Grizzlies aren't going to win many more games. It's pretty much over for them. This was a shocker.
Yeah, it is.
This was a shocker. The Suns lose to the Houston Rockets 114-110.
Trying to tell people, man,
The
they don't want to
Suns.
listen.
Kevin Durant had 28 points, 11
Well, Adam,
rebounds,
they didn't
8
have
assists,
Yusuf Nurkic tonight.
10 of 22 from the field. Yeah, they're missing Yusuf.
I hate Nurk, man.
What?
I've like kindled my hatred of Nurkic.
Guess what? A monster game for the Suns. Bo.
No way. Really?
25 points,
Yeah, man.
14 rebounds, 11 of 17 from the field.
See, man,
Bro.
these are the types of games. I'm telling
He
you,
was a
he
plus.
should be in their rotation.
This is
Frank
crazy.
Vogel.
25
Play
and
the
14
man.
for Bobo.
I can't believe I didn't see everybody on Twitter going crazy.
I know.
Because I didn't.
No, they were
I'm
losing
just
to the
now seeing
Rockets.
this.
Nobody has the energy anymore, Tev.
I know.
Jabari
Nobody
Smith
has
had,
the energy.
He had 22 points, 16 rebounds. Shangoon had 17 points, 12 rebounds. They get the win. That's wild. Van Vliet came
Play
back.
the
he had
man,
23.
Frank. Play him.
The Golden State Warriors win 97-84. Not a very interesting game, but it is the next team that the Nuggets
No,
are
a very
playing.
interesting game. Do you see the halftime score?
Very,
No.
very low scoring. Very low scoring. game.
23. Let's see. It was, do some math here, 29 to 43.
Wow.
29
half.
points.
29?
29 points to 43. They only scored 43 points. It was a blowout at half. They were up.
I mean,
That's
Imagine
insane.
scoring 29 points.
Well,
in
they
a
finished
half.
with 84. There was a double
big
Monday.
second
A
half.
double under. They had 15 in the first quarter, 14 in the second. 29. What did I say? Yeah, 29.
No,
That's
yeah.
what I said.
Nobody
29
really
to
scored.
43. That was the halftime score.
The leading scorer for the Warriors, Steph Curry, of course, 15 points. There was no buckets in this game. This was nothing but defense.
Man.
Miles Bridges led the
Dude.
entire game with
Vasilicic
19
can't do
points.
it by himself, man.
That's a bad game. The Timberwolves fall to the Milwaukee Bucks.
Ooh, Milwaukee.
Giannis had 33 points, 13 rebounds. He said this is Damian Lillard's team. How does he repay him? He goes 8 of 23 from the field. He has 21 points, 10 assists, though. And they just couldn't do anything on the other side. Anthony Edwards he went 10 of 27 from the field. So 27 shot attempts. He had 28 points. He was a minus 16. Karl Anthony Towns, 9 of 22. So they're missing everything. 22 points, 14 rebounds. So they had the numbers, but just not enough.
You see how many free throws Giannis took tonight?
No, how many?
21.
21 free. Can't nobody guard him over there. They have Rudy Gobert and they have Karl Anthony Towns. Rudy Gobert had 12 points, 19 rebounds. They still lost. They had some numbers, but they were just
that was
missing
probably
everything.
the ugliest game, man. Just giving me that stat sheet, I'm like, yeah, I'm good.
And to finish it off, the Lakers win 123-118 over the San Antonio Spurs.
Now this one was crazy.
What made it crazy?
Victor Wembanyama. Read that line.
27 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists.
Bro.
He's a monster.
Keep going.
5 steals, 5 blocks.
A 5x5.
Oh.
Remember last game he was 1 steal shy of a 5x5, and we're like, he's gonna get it soon. Next game, he's 1 steal away from back-to-back 5x5s.
That's
as
insane.
a rookie.
That isn't crazy.
At 20.
Dude,
That's crazy.
People are talking about it, but it almost feels like people aren't talking enough about how good he is.
His growth curve is the steepest I've ever seen.
In life.
He was not great in October and November. Like
Right.
he was, obviously flash talent, but his like month by month improvement is insane. A 5x5, there's not many, man.
Nuggets need to three-peat.
We gotta get this. We gotta get this
We
done.
got to get the first three-peat out of the way
We
early.
gotta get this done,
before
man.
they get good.
Yeah,
They're
man
going to
is a
build around
monster.
them. They're going to have other people around. LeBron had 30 points, 9 assists, 7 rebounds in his return. Anthony Davis had 28 points, 13 rebounds. D'Angelo Russell had 22 points, 6 assists.
The
We'll
Rui
finish
adjustment is in play right now for the Lakers.
Oh.
He's in the starting lineup.
Spencer Dinwiddie, he played 0 of 6. He
Bro,
had 0
look at this
points.
stat line.
But he was plus 21.
Bro, Spencer Dinwiddie in 24 minutes, 0 of 6, 0 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist. That's it. That's everything. And he was a plus 21.
A plus 21.
That's bizarre.
That is bizarre.
We gotta
That
figure out
means
what happened
this
there.
bench unit was just very bad for the Spurs. They tanked.
Um,
I don't even have to see that they tanked just to know that they tanked.
Let's open up the super chats, Kale.
Super chats. Who's reading them?
Who's reading them today? Usually it's,
I guess
Vogt.
I guess me. From Oliver, DNVR became part of my morning routine during this past year. My birthday is tomorrow. You know what I want to hear?
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Oliver.
I think, is there something I'm trying to
birthday,
think?
baby.
Is there
All
something
the
else?
Nuggets are good.
Browntown.
Jivali.
Gina Lee.
Air horn.
There it goes.
I
There it
think we want
goes.
happy birthday, Oliver. Happy birthday, brother. I'm so glad we're part
Happy
of your routine,
birthday,
man. We
man.
love doing this.
Happy
We love
birthday.
vibing. Man, the bar was a vibe fest tonight. We had a lot of people come up and
It was-
talk to us.
that
It was
was
great,
dope.
man.
I love
It
when
was
people
great.
come up.
I do too, man. It was a great night.
Bubbles buzzer beater. Collin Gillespie vibes equal fire. Jordan McRae vibes equal puke.
No. Collin Gillespie vibes equal fire. Jordan McRae vibes equal puke.
That's what I just said.
Oh, you said it with no pause, so it almost sounded like you. Never mind.
You literally said it the exact same way I did.
I
From
agree.
Zane, 99 cents. From
Baccia.
Zane Baccia. Thanks, Zane.
Thank you. The homie, bro.
Brian, the Nuggets look like they have been playing rope-a-dope until now. 43 more wins to the repeat. Viva Los Nuggets.
43 more. I don't know if they're going to get 43 more.
Ken Patterson, Kerr just signed the highest paid coach in NBA history. Yeah.
We're
Steve
gonna have-
Kerr, now the highest paid coach in the league in NBA history too.
Why would they do that? Why would they do that? That's a team that currently looks like a sinking. Did we talk about this in the pregame? I don't even
No,
know.
we didn't. No.
As a team that
We were
looks
talking
like
about
it's
it
on a
off air.
sinking ship. You know, they look old. I thought Kerr was going to retire. Halfway through the year, there was a mutiny. Do you guys remember this? There was a mutiny. Jonathan Kuminga wanted a trade. Do you guys remember?
Oh, yeah.
This is like a month and a half ago. Jonathan Kuminga is demanding a trade.
Right.
Things were not good. And then all of a sudden, he signs a 2-year deal.
Interesting.
That team is are they supposed to be better next year with Draymond and Clay and Steph? And
I mean,
Wiggins
you
all
would
getting
think
older?
worse, right?
You just wouldn't
an
think they're on
aging
the upswing.
core.
So why would they re-up a coach? Huh.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Very strange. Very strange.
Next super chat comes from Brian again. My bad. 41 more wins. Run the table.
All right, let's do it.
I've
Okay.
never, ever heard, read, typed, seen E.
Ulysses. Nikola will get to number 3 all-time triple doubles by the end of this regular season.
Man, I was thinking about that. Is it possible? What does he need? 15 more or 16 more to get Magic?
That would be insane.
He
Dude,
needs 16 more to tie Magic for third.
That means he can only miss 9 games, I think, from here on out.
Yeah, it's too hard for him.
I don't know,
tough.
man. I don't know. If you count playoffs, then yeah.
Yeah, that one is not counting playoffs, but
Yeah.
I don't know what the actual total is. From Peter, a bit worried about Murray's shins, but glad to see MPJ and Jokic plus Collin step up. Also, Pels versus Heat had a fun scuffle.
Fun scuffle.
Talk to Scuffle. That shin splints, we'll figure it out. We'll see what's happening. I wouldn't worry.
I saw a quote from Malone where it seems like it's somewhat concerning, Murray's shin splints. It seems like it's something they might have to think about the rest of the season.
That it, Kel? Yep. Hit that outro music. Friday night at the DNVR Bar. Back-to-back wins.
What a night.
What a night, man. Great night at the bar. Great vibes. Great game. Collin Gillespie. Hat tip. Any final thoughts, Dev?
We do this again on Sunday. And
It gets real.
It's a big one.
It gets real.
This is a
A
real
real
one.
opponent.
I'm excited already. I cannot wait.
We were talking about Narrative Week 2.0.
Yeah.
When does it start? Is it Sunday?
Oh, it could. It could start Sunday.
Because after that you got Sacramento, Miami, Lakers, Phoenix, Boston.
I think it does start
1, 2, 3,
Sunday.
4, 5, 6. Man, Narrative Week really does start Sunday.
I'm not ready for another narrative week.
Oh my gosh. Gird your loins, everybody. Gird your loins. We'll hit that like button on the way out. We'll see you Sunday.
We all silly like the mayor.